The stars watched in silence. Across thousands of systems, trillions of beings tuned in. Holograms flickered in the air above planets. Spaceports and news stations streamed the moment. Even on battle-worn moons, soldiers paused to witness history.peace.a. Human ambassador in clean white robes stepped onto the grand platform of the Galactic High Council. His face was calm, tired, but proud. The Galactic Counselor beside him, tall, with green skin and golden robes, extended a hand. The human took it. Applause thundered across the galaxy. After 50 years of Cold War, border tensions, and near collapse, humanity and the Council had signed a peace treaty. The Treaty of Harmony promised trade, open space lanes, and the end of weapons escalation. It was supposed to mark a new age. Human fleets turned back from borders. Defense satellites around Earth powered down. Even Mars Base Command, once the most fortified human outpost, began deactivating its perimeter shields. The mood on Earth was joyful, but joy did not last. Only hours after the ceremony, without warning, Mars Base went silent. No distress signal. No energy spike. No visible attack. One moment it was there alive with 20,000 human engineers, families, and soldiers. The next moment it was dust. Europa Base followed 10 minutes later. Then Titan's outer rings. Even hidden listening posts classified. Locations were destroyed with precision strikes. It was fast, surgical, brutal, and it was betrayal. The Galactic Council claimed ignorance. Their diplomats offered empty words of sorrow and confusion. But humans watching the data knew better. The attack was coordinated. The timing too perfect. Someone had planned this. Someone had waited for Earth to lower its shields. Then they struck. Back on Earth, the global defense network went dark. All civilian communications were cut off. No more broadcasts. No more updates. To the rest of the galaxy. It looked like Earth had gone silent. Some said Earth was mourning. Some said it had been wiped out entirely. Others laughed. The Vakran Dominion called humanity weak, easily broken. The Kari Empire mocked the so-called war species. Across council worlds, news feeds showed Earth's burning colonies and whispered, humanity has fallen. But far beneath Earth's crust, in bunkers no one had seen in centuries, lights began to glow. Old War A is woke from hibernation. Ancient vaults opened, doors that had not moved in 500 years. In a black ocean under Antarctica, a voice spoke into a silent chamber. Authorization accepted. War Protocol Alpha online. Earth hadn't fallen. Earth was preparing. The stars above the council worlds were calm. Ships passed. Traders flew, and news channels moved on from the peace treaty. The death of the Mars colony was a tragic misunderstanding, they said. The council blamed a rogue species, claimed Earth's systems were weak. Unprepared. Days passed. Then weeks. No response from Earth. No official statement. No war declaration. No demands. Nothing. It as if humanity had vanished. And so the galaxy relaxed. Some laughed at human pride. Some wrote long speeches about peaceful correction and soft outcomes. But not everyone was calm. In a small hidden corner of the galaxy, far beyond council eyes, an old freighter picked up something strange. A pulse in deep space. Cold, precise, repeating. Not meant for outsiders. The pilot, an old alien smuggler named Crix Varn, recognized it. He had served in the Orion War. He had heard that signal before. Was a human war code. Level 9. Fleet Awakening. He didn't wait. He jumped to light speed and vanished. Back near Earth's old territories, patrol ships reported strange debris. Movements. Satellites were missing. Dead outposts were cleaned out. Some wrecks showed signs of being collected. One council scout ship, the Haviland Star, Went to check near Europa's remains. They didn't return dot instead. A garbled signal came through. Static, then silence, then one word, retribution. That word shook every desk in the council. Next day, the Senate of Zarn held a closed meeting. One admiral, pale with fear, whispered, "Earth is not gone. They're preparing." But he was laughed at. "Please," said Councillor Valex of the Triner, "we erased their outer colonies. Their spirit is broken. They can't strike back. Their fleets were retired, their weapons scrapped. But they were wrong dot in the cold silence of the asteroid belt. Hidden behind shifting rocks, something vast began to move. Old ships, Titan-class hulls, dust-covered weapons turning slowly. War engines that hadn't activated in centuries now hummed. With power dot inside one ship, in a deep core room, a human AI came online. Its eyes lit up red. Its voice was calm. Confirmed. Betrayal logged. Retaliation mode active. Unlocking protocol Hades. Across thousands of hidden bunkers, machines woke dot hundreds of war drones lifted into orbit. Humanity had gone silent for a reason. They weren't broken. They were waiting. The council still believed they had won. Weeks passed. Then months. Earth gave no reply, no threats, no warships dot to the galaxy. It seemed like proof. The humans had lost everything. No more colonies, no fleets, no backbone. But deep in space, behind, layers of blackened satellites and sensor fog, something vast was taking shape. Not ships, not armies, but a system. A war system dot. It had no name, only a code. Protocol Hades dot. It had been hidden since the first contact war. Buried in silence beneath the Martian crust, the lunar shadows, and the cold heart of Titan dot. Now it was waking up, and it had not forgotten. Aboard the council, flagship orbiting Aurelis Prime Captain Serval of the Darnari Navy stared at the report. In his hands, a trade station near the old human frontier was gone. Not damaged, gone. No wreckage. No escape pods. No distress calls. Only a blackened circle of melted glass where it used to orbit. His second in command, a four-eyed tech officer named Jesh, said quietly, "The radiation signature matches old Terran plasma cores, but stronger, sharper, cleaner." Serval frowned. "Are you saying this was human tech?" Jesh nodded slowly. Serval looked up at the stars. "They weren't sleeping," he whispered. "They were rebuilding." Back on Earth, deep below the surface few knew that Earth had buried its true military strength underground, not in one place, but in hundreds. Hidden beneath oceans, frozen inside comets, scattered across dark moons, each one linked to the Warden network, an ancient defense. AI built after the Treaty of Solar Burn. The galaxy thought it had been dismantled, hadn't. It had simply watched. For 120 years, the Warden network had gathered information, spied on the council, tracked every warship, recorded every betrayal dot. It had predicted the strike on Mars, but it had been ordered to remain silent until the betrayal was confirmed. Now the confirmation had come, and so the system activated Project Crucible. Across the stars, hidden engines flared in the asteroid graveyard near Neptune. Black ships began to move in the ice tunnels of Enceladus. Machine factories woke and began forging sleek, silent drones, each the size of a fighter, but faster than anything the Council had ever built. In the void near Alpha Centauri, a forgotten relay station blinked once, and on a long-dead station near Kepler 2b, an ancient, sleeping thing opened. Its eyes. It was not human, but it had been made by humans. Enhanced, cold, unforgiving. Its name was Verax, and its only function was war. The first warning, the Council still celebrated their peace victory over humanity. But far out on the rim, in Sector 14V, A council dreadnought named Voss Reader received a strange transmission. It came in 3 parts. A list of 3,472 names, council officials, commanders, ambassadors. A simple sentence: judgment begins now. A countdown. When the message ended, every screen aboard the dreadnought turned black. Lights failed. Engines stopped. Weapon systems went offline. For 30 seconds, the ship drifted in total silence. Then, the lights came back and every member of the crew was dead. No marks. No wounds. Just silence. The ship floated into nothingness. The galaxy took notice. But it was already too late. Across the council systems, strange things began to happen. Military AI cores crashed. Defense satellites turned inward. Communications relays began replaying old human war hymns. Then came the voice. Calm, human, female. You betrayed us. You struck without cause. You killed civilians. You called it peace. We offered unity. You answered with blood. This is not vengeance. This is justice. This is Hades. The stars over Talvern Prime were calm. Ships from dozens of species moved through the busy lanes above the glittering spaceports. News reports had settled down. It had been 2 weeks since the sudden, brutal attacks on Mars and Europa. And still, Earth had not responded. Many across the galaxy had started to believe the humans were truly finished. Ambassador Threx of the Varn Dominion sat inside the Galactic Council's private hall, his tendrils tapping nervously on the table. He looked across the circular room. Even the loudest human critics had grown quiet. They had expected Earth to retaliate immediately, with all its famous fury and war machines. But nothing came. No fleet. No warning, no message. Just silence. Perhaps, whispered Councilor Grenari, her crystalline voice echoing slightly, the humans are as broken as they appeared. Maybe the betrayal worked. Perhaps we really ended them. Threx didn't answer. He had served as ambassador on Earth for 30 years. He knew humans. He'd studied their history, their strange love for peace, and the darker part of them that always woke in times of loss. And now he was afraid. Not because they hadn't responded, but because they hadn't. Across the galaxy, ships passed through human space more freely. Border patrols were gone, automated defenses offline. A few smaller species even began scavenging the outer colonies. The Council didn't stop them. Why would they? Humanity was over. But on a forgotten moon near the edge of Sol, something activated. An ancient relay station, long abandoned and silent since the Mars strike, linked to life. Its signal burst across the darkness, bouncing from satellite to satellite, coded with a language only a few could understand. It was old Earth military code, classified, buried, obsolete to outsiders, but not to those who once served in the hell. Old flates. It was only one line, simple, clear. Black Protocol 7 initiated. Earth is not silent. Earth is waiting. On every human listening post still hidden in deep space, the message repeated. On abandoned asteroid bases. On secret outposts that weren't even on official maps. And then, one by one, they began to vanish. Not destroyed, not attacked, just gone. Their locations went dark. Ships left their berths. Silent, cloaked, cold, a few traders caught glimpses. Shadows moving near the edge of stars. Enormous shapes gliding without engines. Unregistered energy pulses from long-forgotten regions of space. Whispers spread fast. A mining vessel near the Orion Drift reported an impossible sight. A human dreadnought. The Indomitable, thought to have been decommissioned decades ago, now fully active. Its hull bore deep scars from wars long past. But its weapons were online. The crew refused to speak. They didn't respond to hails. The ship turned, aimed at the stars. And jumped. Then came the first message. Not from Earth, not from any government. From an old human captain. His face weathered, uniform torn. His eyes cold. The video lasted 12 seconds. It was broadcast to every council world. Every station. Every ship. No one knew how. We signed for peace, the captain said. You answered with blood. Now we answer. The screen went black. Back in the council hall. Silence fell. This time no one laughed, because they all remembered what Earth had done once before, when the stars had pushed too far. And now, somewhere in the void, those war engines were waking. Humanity hadn't been destroyed. It had been watching and preparing. The darkness above Europa was thick with debris. Twisted metal spun silently in space, what was left of Earth's outer colonies. Not long ago, Europa was full of life. Now nothing moved, nothing answered. The Galactic Council believed they had. Erased it all. They were wrong. Aboard a scout ship hiding in the shadow of a nearby moon, Captain Arya Fields watched her screen light up. Is that? Her second officer whispered. Arya narrowed her eyes. A flicker of energy had appeared deep beneath Europa's frozen surface. It was faint, just a short pulse. Then again. A double click. Too fast, too rhythmic to be natural. A signal. A human signal. Her hand trembled as she traced the source. Europa's gone, her officer said. This isn't possible. Arya shook her head. No, it means someone survived. And then the pulse came again, louder. Stronger. It was Morse code. 3 letters. AER. Arya stood from her chair, stunned. Activate emergency channel. The officer hesitated. Ma'am, that code was retired after the Martian War. I know, Arya said. It stands for Automated Emergency Response. It only activates when a hidden defense node wakes up. She looked out the viewport, her voice low. And if Europa's node is still online, that means Earth planned for betrayal. The ship's systems buzzed to life. A new reading came in. Something's moving, the sensor officer whispered. From beneath the ice, deep inside the moon's crust, a structure began to rise. It pushed through the frozen ocean like a beast waking from a long sleep. Black metal. No markings. Silent. It looked like a tower. No, not a tower, a cannon. Dear God, someone whispered. The old legend spoke of it. Hidden weapons. Buried. Vaults. A shadow protocol, a last line of defense, buried on every major colony. Everyone believed they were just stories. Scare tactics from the old wars. But now, one of them had awakened. The cannon locked onto deep space coordinates. Where? Is it targeting? Arya asked. The answer came with a chill. Council Relay Station 47. A civilian post. A symbol of peace. Arya didn't move. It's not just revenge, she said. It's a message. Meanwhile, on the Galactic Council capital world high, Chancellor Dreevy stood before the council chamber, smug and confident. Humanity has fallen silent, he said. Their Mars fleet was their greatest force. Now they are ghosts. Another admiral nodded. No movement from Earth. No transmissions. Their colonies are ash. But a junior officer ran into the chamber, pale, breathing hard. Chancellor, emergency report relay station 47 has just been destroyed. What? Dreevy snapped. From a deep-range pulse cannon, no warning. No trace. The station and everyone aboard. Gone. A murmur passed through the chamber. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't pirates or rebels. This was planned. Dreevy's voice cracked. Where did the weapon fire from? The answer hit like ice. Europa. Back in the shadows of the moon, Captain Arya stared as the cannon sank back below the ice, vanishing like it had never been there. Her ship received one last message before silence returned. A. Voice. Calm, mechanical. Protocol ear. Phase 1. Complete. Await Phase 2. Earth is not broken. Arya closed her eyes, whispering the words to herself. Earth is not broken. She turned to her crew. Set course for Titan, if Europa's vault is active. Titans might be too. The stars trembled. Across the galaxy, comm stations fell into silence. One by one, systems blinked out. Satellites turned to ash. Unknown pulses, not attacks, but warnings rippled outward from the Sol system. No one knew what they meant. No one knew if Earth still lived. But then, the signal came. It was short, powerful, carried on a tight beam through ancient subspace corridors. Just one sentence, repeated in every known galactic language. We are awake. On the war-torn planet. Vellum 3, General Sultan of the Kari Dominion stared at the message. His face twitched. They survived Mars? Europa? Even the Hydra bombs? An aide nodded slowly. Yes. Sir? And this message was sent from Earth itself. Sultan's claws clicked against the metal table. Then they're not dead. They were playing dead. In deep space, far beyond the reach of most ships, the UNSC Nemesis emerged from folded. Void space. It was massive. Black as obsidian, covered in kinetic shields and neutron mesh plating. Its engines didn't burn, they whispered, distorting space around it like a wound. Inside the bridge, Admiral Lee Torres stood at full attention. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned like twin suns. All systems lev. Her I said, in a neutral voice. Time to send a message of our own, Torres replied. They want a war of silence? We'll answer with fire. Behind her, the other ships of Strike Fleet Vengeance came online. Dozens of vessels, each carrying weapons Earth had never revealed to the galaxy before the betrayal. Meanwhile, on a quiet moon orbiting a council core world, a secret meeting was held. Only 5 figures were present, representatives of species who had all signed the betrayal pact. They were silent as the human message played in the chamber again. We are awake. Their tone? It's not a threat, one whispered. It's worse, said another. It's a promise. They all looked to the final figure, an old, gray-skinned Varnak with deep scars across his jaw. What do we do? Someone asked. The Varnak spoke slowly. We hide, and we prepare for the sky to burn. On Earth, beneath the ruined cities and still blackened orbital rings, the truth began to reveal itself. The war engines of humanity, the ancient war AI cores, the titanic forges, the planet-cracking reactors had been buried beneath ice, sea, and stone, waiting, built not for defense, but for retribution. Now they stirred. Beneath the Siberian wastes, the Titan-class Walker Atlas activated. A machine 1.4 kilometers tall. Its eyes blazed crimson as it stepped free from a glacier, scattering icebergs like feathers in the Marianas Trench. A sub-oceanic carrier breached the sea like a rising leviathan equipped with rail cannons that could vaporize moons. Humanity hadn't been caught off guard. They had sacrificed Mars. They had let the betrayal happen, not to watch, to learn, to let the traitors show themselves fully. And now? Now came the answering fire. Aboard the UNSC Nemesis, Admiral Torres gave the order. All ships, engage stealth drive. Set trajectory for council space. What's our primary objective? The ops officer asked. Torres didn't blink. Remind the galaxy why peace with Earth was once the smartest choice they ever made. The bridge lights dimmed. Across the fleet, engines hummed with power. Gravity rippled. The stars bent. And Earth's vengeance fleet slipped quietly into the black, like a wolf pack heading for the throat. The darkness of space held many secrets. But now, one voice was about to change everything. somewhere deep inside the shattered ruins of Earth's former listening station on Europa, a hidden signal came alive. A simple message echoed through human. Comes, sent from an unknown source. Command Echo Awaken Protocol. Leviathan. General Aria Voss, standing aboard the stealth battleship Vindicator, turned pale. Leviathan ... That protocol was locked away. She whispered. Captain Rellan looked confused. What is it? She turned to him slowly, her voice low and grave. It's not a weapon. It's him. Hours earlier, deep in the Oort cloud beneath the icy shell of an old asteroid station long thought abandoned, a man woke from CRYO-sleep. His name, Commander Kale Toran, once a living legend, now erased from records. Kale had vanished during the last border war 30 years ago. His loyalty to Earth had been unshakable, and his tactics terrifying. The Council had once begged Earth to silence him. Instead, Earth put him in deep freeze, a final plan if all else failed. And now, the Council's betrayal had awakened the monster they feared most. He walked through the dim corridor of the old station. Lights flickered to life as if recognizing him. "Welcome back, Commander," an AI voice said. Kale's eyes burned with quiet fury. "They broke the treaty?" he asked. "Yes, Mars, Europa, 41 colonies lost. Earth's status uncertain." He didn't reply. He simply opened the vault door. Inside, waiting for him, was the Leviathan command ship, a ship built in secret, never launched. A war machine too powerful for peacetime. Authorization? The AI asked. Kale placed his hand on the panel. For Earth, for those who trusted the lie. The ship lit up like a sleeping god, waking from a long dream. Now, Council space. System Barex, the Galactic Council, held another emergency session. Still no word from Earth. Their fleets remained silent, dead. Admiral Zurath of the Velari laughed. Perhaps humanity was weaker than we thought. But the Talrin delegate looked nervous. Then why do our outer fleets keep vanishing? They are hiding like rats. Another said. No one noticed the hologram screens in the chamber glitching, until they all went dark at once. A new symbol appeared. A burning Earth, surrounded by rings of fire. Then a voice played, old, human, terrifying. "This is Commander Kale Toran. You wanted war. You'll now taste what Earth kept hidden, even from its allies. The storm is coming." Gasps filled the chamber. Back on the Vindicator, General Voss watched the signal repeat. "Kale's alive," she said. "And he's moving faster than we are." Captain Rellan looked at the stars. "What do we do?" Her eyes narrowed. "We follow his trail. If Leviathan's awake, the Council's fleets won't stand a chance." In deep space, hours later, a Council fleet of 300 ships detected an unknown vessel heading toward them at impossible speed. They hailed it. No response. The armed weapons. Still silence. Then, a single energy pulse. Not a weapon. A command. And every one of their ships shut down. Dead. Drifting. A message played from the enemy ship. "I remember your names. I remember the screams of our colonies. This is only the beginning." The Leviathan disappeared into the dark again. Title: The Black Fleet awoke, and the stars went silent. The darkness over Earth did not mean surrender. It meant preparation. Deep under the Himalayas, in a base carved into the stone by hands long forgotten, a signal pulsed. It was ancient, older than the current United Earth government. It was a legacy. The Black Fleet was waking up. Admiral Raz stood on the bridge of the old command bunker. The air was cold. Dust still hung in the stale silence of the room. Around him, screens blinked to life, one by one. These ships were not part of the regular fleet. They were never part of any peace treaty. They were Earth's ghost force ships, built for the end of everything. All systems green. The AI spoke. Its voice was calm. Too calm. Fleet status? Raz asked. 22 dreadnoughts online. 1 Titan-class war engine. 35 hunter frigates. Stealth field operational. He nodded slowly. Set target. Taraxis Prime. That's where they meant for peace. That's where it ends. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Galactic Council celebrated too early. They believed Earth was broken. They believed Mars had silenced the human spirit. But the silence from Earth had begun to frighten them. No threat. No screams. No protests. Just nothing. Some on the council began to worry. The Zethari warlord sent scouts to check Earth's orbit. Nothing there. But their ships never returned. Then it happened. First, the lights above Taraxis Prime blinked out. One by one, orbital defense satellites went offline. Then came the sound, a low-frequency hum that rattled comms, disrupted sensors, and sent shivers through those who heard it. The war engine had arrived, back on Earth. General Mira stood inside the silent control chamber of the Black Fleet's AI core. She was not part of the current military. She was a cold protocol officer, only awakened if Earth faced total betrayal. And now, she had the codes. Black Fleet. She said softly, "Unseal all weapon locks. Activate Judgment-class cannons. Stealth on. Fire on my command." A screen displayed images of Mars, the burning of Europa, and the broadcasts from the Galactic Council mocking humanity, laughing at Earth's silence. She watched them all. She remembered each face. At Taraxis Prime. The Titan ship was invisible until it fired. A single shot. One beam of superheated gravity-pulled plasma clean, silent, devastating. The Galactic Council's capital station was gone. No explosion. Just erased. Panic spread fast. Civilian ships tried to escape. Council fleets scrambled to respond. But the Black Fleet was already there, hidden, watching. One by one, they attacked from the shadows. No open broadcast. No warning. They didn't need to speak. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. Aboard the Titan, Ship Admiral Raz stood calmly. He activated the system-wide broadcast. To all council worlds, he said, voice slow and cold. Earth was silent. Not broken. You chose betrayal. You chose extinction. We are not here to negotiate. We are here to end this. The screen went black. Then came the final command. Fire. The control chamber aboard Revenant 1 pulsed with low red lighting. Every screen displayed only one thing. The Sol system. Dead. Or so the galaxy believed. But now, something had changed. A faint transmission had burst from the edge of Earth's. System on an old frequency. No one used anymore. It wasn't a distress call. It wasn't a threat. It was a countdown. No encryption. No signature. Just numbers ticking backward. General Vora of the Krith Dominion stared at the message, claws tapping nervously on the console. Is this some human trick? She demanded. No tricks, her comms officer whispered, staring pale-eyed at the feed. The signal's real. It's coming from Earth's original orbital defense ring. It shouldn't even be online. Across the galaxy, other fleets began receiving the same signal. One by one, systems that had once watched Earth flicker back to life. Sensor stations long thought abandoned, turned on, their lenses locked toward deep space. It was like the planet itself had woken up. Back on Revenant 1, Admiral Calder stood before the War Council. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned with cold fury. They tried to erase us. Mars, Europa, Ganymede, all gone. His officers watched silently as he pointed at the countdown. We warned them. Earth never forgets. And now, He pressed a button. The countdown duplicated across every screen. We answer. Far across the stars, deep inside the hidden. Shipyards orbiting Proxima Centauri, massive war engines powered up for the first time in decades. Black-hulled dreadnoughts, each the size of a small moon, emerged from dry dock silent and cold, yet fully armed. Each one carried a name scorched into its side in angry red. Retribution, Memory, Ghost of Mars, Last, Eden. These were not just warships. These were monuments. Meanwhile, on the core world of Taraxis Prime, the Galactic Council gathered in confusion. What is this signal? Barked Elder Jurek, scales glinting under the lights. Why has Earth broken silence now? High Strategist Vel clicked her mandibles. Perhaps it is bluff. They know they are weak. They try to frighten us with ancient machines. But a voice came from the back of the chamber, a human spy they thought long broken. "You don't understand," he said with a broken grin. "That countdown? It's not a bluff. It's a promise." The room fell into silence. Back in deep space, hidden cameras recorded a terrifying scene. A lone enemy scout ship approached Earth's outer system to investigate the signal. As it neared the old Pluto outpost once thought destroyed, a strange energy field activated. One moment the scout was there. The next, it was gone. No explosion. No debris. Just total erasure. In the final second of the scout's footage, a shape began to emerge in the shadows, vast, silent, shaped like a sword. A ship. Unlike anything in the galaxy. In the heart of Earth, buried beneath blackened soil, survivors prepared. Not civilians. Not leaders. Soldiers. Children of war. The betrayed generation. They were born after the strike. Raised in silence. Trained in secret. Now, as the countdown reached single digits, they rose from old bunkers, from cryo-vaults, from beneath the ash of lost cities. They strapped into neural rigs, interfacing directly with Earth's war engines. Their eyes turned silver. Their voices synced with the machines. "Humanity remembers," they whispered in unison. "And now we rise." The stars trembled. Over 100,000 alien warships filled the skies. Above Corvaxis Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Council. Orbiting defense grids powered up. Shields shimmered like walls of light. Every gun was loaded. Every ship was ready. And yet no one moved, because Earth's final fleet had arrived. Not a message. Not a warning. Just silence. Until the largest human, dreadnought, Iron Will, slowly drifted into visual range. It was enormous, eclipsing moons. Its hull still bore the scars of the Mars betrayal. And now, its guns were pointed at the Council's heart. In the command chamber of Iron Will, Commander Elias Vorn stood silently, hands behind his back. No rage, no mercy, just duty. The bridge was filled with quiet tension. Officers awaited orders, fingers hovering over controls that could end worlds. The main screen showed the enemy fleet tens of thousands strong, outnumbering Earth's force nearly 3-1. But Earth's war engines were different. They were built in silence, upgraded in shadows, powered by ancient tech and new Terran cores. They ran hot, quiet, and fast. They didn't need to match the enemy in numbers. They just had to be angry enough. And they were. Vorn's eyes flicked to his comms officer. Open channel. Across the galaxy, everyone tuned in. Every screen, every device, every species connected to the galactic net was forced to watch. A human voice echoed through the stars. "This is Earth. You betrayed peace. You murdered our people. You broke the galaxy's trust." The voice paused. "You thought we were weak, that we would fall silent." Another pause. Then came the final words. "You were wrong." In that moment, every human ship unleashed its fury. The void screamed. Alien ships blinked out of existence before they could fire. Massive dreadnoughts were ripped open by invisible kinetic cannons. Anti-warp missiles tore through space like angry ghosts, seeking anything with a council signature dot in less than 90 seconds. Half of the enemy fleet was gone. Corvaxis Prime's orbital shield cracked. The council's palace, once thought indestructible, split down the middle as a precise kinetic strike hit its power core. But Earth didn't fire again. Instead, the iron will moved closer. From its side opened a single pod small, sleek, and carrying one person. The pod descended onto Corvaxis. Inside it, Ambassador Reza Hale. He walked through the ashes of what once ruled the stars. Alone, calm, unarmed, he entered the shattered palace and stood before the few surviving members of the council. "I came here once with peace," he said softly. "They said nothing. They COULDN single quotes T. Now." He placed a single object on the flora box. It opened, projecting a hologram of the Mars colony. Families, children, laughter, before the betrayal, and then the after, silence, dust, and ruin. Reza looked up. "This is what your peace cost us." Then he turned, walking away. The iron will took him back, and the fleet turned. No more destruction. Just a warning. A message broadcast once more across every channel. "We are Earth. We do not forget. We do not forgive." Then they vanished, leaving behind a broken capital and a galaxy that would never laugh at humanity again.